7 in 10 Americans say the nation's political divisions are at least as big as during the Vietnam War, according to a new poll, which also finds nearly 6 in 10 saying Donald Trump's presidency is making the U.S. political system more dysfunctional. The Washington Post University of Maryland poll, conducted 9 months into Trump's tumultuous presidency, reveals a starkly pessimistic view of U.S. politics, widespread distrust of the nation's political leaders and their ability to compromise, and an erosion of pride in the way democracy works in America. Do you think problems in America's politics right now are similar to most periods of partisan disagreement, or do you think problems have reached a dangerous low point? No opinion not shown. Trump's arrival in the White House in January ushered in a period of big political fights, over issues including health care, taxes and immigration, and a sharp escalation in personal attacks on political opponents, over social media and elsewhere. 7 in 10 Americans say the nation's politics have reached a dangerous low point, and a majority of those believe the situation is a new normal rather than temporary, according to the poll. The poll finds that 7 in 10 Americans view the Trump administration as dysfunctional. But dissatisfaction extends well beyond the executive branch. Even more Americans, 8 in 10, say Congress is dysfunctional, and there is limited trust in other institutions, including the media. It's just messed up now, said Patty Kaspeck, 37, a veterinary technician in Bartlesville, Oklahoma, and a Democrat. It's not even a political system. It's a reality show. No opinion not shown. In the poll, 14% of Americans said they view ethics and honesty of politicians as excellent or good, down from 25% in 1997 and 39% in 1987. And 12% say members of Congress base their policies on a set of core values, while 87% say they mainly do whatever is needed to win re-election. By and large, Americans are feeling frustrated not only with the country's politics but their ability to talk about politics in a civil way. It seems the country is being divided on so many topics and on so many fronts at one time, said Gene Gardner, a retired communications specialist in Blacksburg, Virginia, who said American democracy has become a rock-throwing contest. When people have an opinion, they don't just say it to their spouse across the dinner table anymore, said Gardner, 68. Who is not registered with either political party. They put it on Facebook. Everything gets amplified and more angry. Recent surveys have shown consumer confidence is up this year and stands at the highest levels in the past decade, so it does not appear that economic concerns are driving discontent with the nation's political system. Rather, Trump's presidency appears to be a more critical factor in informing the way people feel about the state of American democracy. While the poll finds similar levels of distrust in the federal government as before Trump took office, it also finds that pride in U.S. democracy is eroding. The share of Americans who are not proud of the way the country's democracy is working has doubled since 3 years ago, from 18% to 36% in the new survey conducted among a nationwide sample of more than 1,600 adults by the Post and UMD.S Center for American Politics and Citizenship. And nearly half of those who say they strongly disapprove of Trump's job performance say they are not proud of American democracy today. That's about twice as high among as those who somewhat disapprove of the president's performance. No opinion not shown. Doubts about democracy are not limited, however, to strong Trump critics. The poll finds that 25% of his supporters are not proud of the way democracy is working. That's a higher figure than for the general public since at least the 1990s, polling shows. I think that since Trump's election, there's a spotlight on Washington and how it really works that politicians are out for themselves and beholden to special interests, said Nala Sain, a paralegal in Logansville, Georgia, who supported Trump and says she tends to vote Republican. Sain, 54, partly blames the dysfunction on how the Washington establishment has reacted to Trump. People just flip out at everything he says, Sain said. Elizabeth Johnston, a worker benefits specialist in Paradise, California, said she's embarrassed for the country and primarily blames Democrats for the nation's current political dysfunction. They're acting like the mean kids in junior high, Johnston said. They're all helping to make sure that the president doesn't succeed. Johnston, 58, a registered independent, said there are some things she doesn't like about Trump, like his childish tweets. But she said the country needs to give him a chance. I love it that he hears us, she said. I love it that he wants to cut taxes. Strong majorities in